But before all that, I wanted to have a quick chat with Nicole Overall, the Nationals member for the New South Wales Legislative Council. Nicole Overall, I don't think I've spoken to you since I've come back on air.
Ross Solly, I think it has been a long time.
It has been a very, very long time. We used to chat all the time. And
we did.
Yeah, but then you got important, really important. I mean, you're already important, but now you're really important as a member of the New South Wales Legislative Council.
Yes, I'm not sure about that, but the second part of that sentence is correct. Yes, now part of the Legislative Council and very happy to be here. And yes, Tim Overall and I were just having the conversation yesterday, Ross, about when it was the last time that we spoke.
Yeah.
It would have been ghost tours or some history.
It would have been something like that. Is Tim in retirement now, or is he still earning a proper living? What's going on there?
Oh, well, he's on the other side of the fence now, having to look after me and be there backing me, doing what I'm doing.
Before time, of course.
He said this was going to be a great idea.
Yeah, good work. Thank you very much, Tim. Of course, former mayor of Queanbeyan. Well, I think it was just then Queanbeyan before it became Queanbeyan-Pallaring, wasn't it?
That's right, at the end, 2016
now,
it became Queanbeyan.
Nicole, Overall, we want to chat to you this morning because you are going to take up the cause for the Royalla quarry that's been talked about, debated for some time. What's your position on this? Are you a fan or are you against it?
I'm backing the community on this, Ross, and have been on this position well before I was ever in politics. So this, as you just mentioned, has been an ongoing issue. And before I was elected as the member for Monero, I was, talking with community members, obviously many people that I know who live in that Royalla Googong area. Then after I became the member for Monero, it was my position to ensure that the community concerns were being heard and addressed, and the matter has continued to progress. Now there's been more than 500 submissions made about this proposed rock quarry in the middle of Royalla, and I am again suggesting that community concerned residents need to have their voices heard and this be properly analysed. So
are you against the quarry taking place at all, or do you just want more consultation? Do you want the company to do more to try and lessen the impact on the local community?
All of these things need to be taken into account, bearing in mind that this is a state significant development application. This is not just something through council. This is meaning that it's more serious when it comes to the size, the scale, the potential impact. So in other words, it's not a small project. So all of those matters need to be addressed, and they need to be done in a way that is to the satisfaction of the community. Now, whether it can be done in a way that suggests that all of the issues that are put forward, whether it's health impacts, traffic and safety risks, the concern about damage to roads and the quality of life for those who live in that area, whether they can be ameliorated by what is being suggested here is one matter. Whether it is the right location at all is another matter entirely, given that Royalla is a semi-rural suburb. It is not an industrial suburb.
No, that's true. And the interesting issue is here that the proposed site for the quarry is just a couple of kilometres from the ACT boundary as well. And I know that there's some MLAs here in Canberra who are getting very concerned about it. Do you feel that the New South Wales government are taking the concerns of the residents there seriously? And if not, how can you focus the mind of the government to actually take on board what people are worried about?
Yes, well, that is precisely what all of this is about now, and bringing attention to the matter to ensure that it doesn't become a tick and flick exercise. And as you rightly point out, Ross, it is just down the road from the ACT, this proposal. So there are many concerns from those in the Tuggeranong area. I understand that many submissions have come from that side of the border as well. And yes, it's Mark Parton who has also written to the New South Wales Minister for Planning, suggesting public hearing on the matter. So I want to ensure when we get back to Parliament in a couple of weeks that the New South Wales Parliament, that these matters are front and centre for the New South Wales Planning Minister. We know that the SSDA, the state significant development application, will have a process to go through. I want to ensure that that is done as fully and comprehensively and in as timely a manner as it can possibly happen. And then the outcomes of that need to be whatever those outcomes are going to be. And we don't want to preempt that. We do have to wait for that process to happen, but to ensure that there are no corners cut, that is there's nothing overlooked when it comes to the outcomes.
As one of the local members there, Nicole, overall, what's the level of consultation been like and communication been like for you? Have you been able to get answers from the company on exactly what their plans are and how they aim to mitigate some of the concerns?
I haven't spoken directly with the company around that. I've gone on the information that has been...
Have you tried to? Have you reached out to them to try and have a conversation?
Not at this point, Ross. It wouldn't be appropriate to do that. As I said, the process is happening, and they will have.
It would be appropriate. It would be inappropriate. Well. I know you say it's not appropriate, but surely it would be appropriate if you're the local member and you have constituents who are concerned about it. You surely should be able to get an audience with them, and I don't think many people would think that wasn't appropriate if you were going to talk to them and say, "Hey, these are some of the concerns that my constituents have. What are you going to do about it?"
Yeah, look, and it's not that that won't happen in the right sequence of timing when it comes to this. The submissions have only just closed on the development application process, so we need to make sure that that is all in place, and that if I have that chance to speak with them and need to take it forward in that way, bearing in mind, of course, that I'm not the local member. The local member is Steve Wan for the Labor government. I am in opposition. I'm just wanting to ensure that Labor, as the government, is ensuring that they are listening to everything that the community is putting forward and the concerns that they've had. Now, I understand that Queen Palarang Council has made a submission, that Steve Wan has made a submission as part of this process as well. It was done, my understanding, is at the last minute before submissions closed. So, again, it's making sure that the residents have the confidence of what's going forward and what's happening. It's not my job to get in there and try to fix this as such, but listening to what's going on and trying to ensure the proper level of attention is what I'm here to do.
I don't know. I mean, I know you say you're not the local member, but you live in the area, and you are a member of the Legislative Council. I don't know. I do think it is. I think it is part of your job, Nicole, overall. Sorry to try and tell you how to do your job, and I may be totally off the mark here. But I reckon that a local member and somebody who represents a lot of the constituents there, you are perfectly within your right to go to them and ask for answers and to say, hey, these are the issues that have been raised with me. I need to know on behalf of my constituents, what are you going to do about it?
And as I said, not necessarily that won't happen. You're definitely not telling me how to do the job, Ross. It is about making sure that we have that communication and that engagement. And again, that is what I have wanted to take into account this entire time, that the community and their concerns are being heard, and that, yes, the proponent also has their opportunity to put forward what is a business proposal at this point in time, and that they're able to address what they want to do, how they're going to do it, and how they may have the chance to answer to some of this. The concern, I guess, which is most vociferously been put forward to me, is that it's going to extract up to 1 million tonnes per annum of hard rock for up to 30 years, and the transport would take place on the local roads. We already know the condition of many of our local roads. So there is a lot to be taken into account. But again, through the proper processes and procedures, give everyone the chance to be heard, to address what needs to be addressed in the most comprehensive way possible. And again, that's why I'm not saying that the New South Wales government isn't going to ensure that happens, isn't going down that pathway as well. I just want to be there as another voice to say, let's all be behind this and make sure that that does happen in the most comprehensive way possible.
Yes, there seems to be a lot of people lining up here to oppose that. There are some, though, Nicole, overall, who are, and I've looked at the submissions, and we spoke to one guy who was very much in favour of it and said that we need this quarry, you know, maybe not straight away, but in 10 years' time, we're going to need this so we can get what we need for the likely increase in building requirements around the ACT and the region. So I guess there is that side of the argument as well.
Yeah, and look, it's not, and those are community members, the residents who have come to me, have said it's not anti-development. It's not that, they don't want to see things progress and advance, but it does have to be about sensible planning, got to take into account safety and sustainability. And it's also been pointed out to me that there are already existing quarries within a 30-kilometre radius of what we're talking about here that apparently can meet that long-term demand for the next 100 years. So this is what I'm talking about, ensuring that all of these points that are being put forward, that we look at properly. And the great advantage of being in the Legislative Council, the upper house, Ross, is that we do things really well in terms of looking at the detail, where the gaps are, the answers that we need to find. And that will then potentially open the door for me to talk with the company who's proposing it to say, well, look, this is where the gaps are. Are you able to address and answer to what's going on?
It'd be interesting to see what comes out of this. Nicole, overall, nice to catch up with you. Thanks for the chat.
Nice to talk with you again as well, Ross.
Thank you. Nicole Overall, the Nationals member of the New South Wales Legislative Council on ABC Canberra Breakfast, 7:28. Greg says regarding the rock mine proposal, the decision is dependent on whether the mine has made, this is Greg's claims, dependent on whether the mine has made generous political donations to Labor via the Federal Labor Party, as donations up to $16,000 a day do not need to be declared. The Federal Party can redistribute the donation to New South Wales Labor. So if the mine is approved, we then know. Very cynical, Greg. This listener says, too many local members forget that they're there to represent the people who have put them into power, not to just be compatible with the government if they're in opposition. And this listener says, Ross, the Royalla quarry is not filling a gap for housing materials. Please read the details correctly and stop promulgating that incorrect information. Well, in fact, they are saying, and I have read the stuff, they are saying that long term, not straight away, but their argument is that long term this will be needed.